Hello, this is Rahem Badshah from Aylesbury Lawyers at your service. Um, just a small declaration. This, in no shape or form, is legal advice. It's just for general information. And as always, independent legal advice should always be sought. You'll find a link below to our website and with our telephone number. Now, a lot of times when our clients come and approach us and they have a matter regarding a family matter, usually divorce and children and financial issues, we ask the question, are you actually married? Now, a lot of the times the clients may think yes. However, it's later proven that despite their thoughts, they actually don't meet the criteria of being married in the UK. Now, you may ask how. So in the UK, there are many ways in which two persons can unify. So for example, there's a civil partnership, there's marriage, there's cohabitation, and each of these have their own rights and principles in law. Today I want to focus on the principle and the regulations of marriage when seeking a divorce in court. So the very first thing you need to understand is that to seek a divorce you have to actually be married. Now, for those of you who actually live in the United Kingdom and habitually resident, it may seem straightforward. You approach the other partner, you get engaged, you have a wedding ceremony at a church or civil location, and you have a piece of paper to say that you're married. However, what about those that marry outside of the UK? Does the legislation apply? Does the court have jurisdiction to grant a divorce? Does the court even recognize this marriage? Well, a lot of what I say now will apply to those in the subcontinent. So for example, Pakistan. In Pakistan, you'll know that it's a former Commonwealth country. Now, someone that is married in Pakistan and has a documentation, namely called a Nikah, can actually prove that they are married, albeit in a different jurisdiction, because the UK and the UK's courts do actually recognize the UK Nikah as a valid marriage certificate, and they recognize the sanctity of the marriage. As a result, the court in the UK at least have jurisdiction to declare that marriage null and void, and each partner to be divorced. Now, these rules do follow the normal rules as it would follow for anyone that was married inside the UK. So you'd apply first for the conditional decree, and then in the end you'll be granted the final decree. Now, just something very briefly I want to touch on. Surprisingly, a lot of my clients aren't aware that the law changed in April 2022, where there were previously 5 grounds for seeking a divorce, which ultimately would lead to the marriage being irretrievably broken down. So for example, desertion, separation, adultery, etc. I want to clarify that these grounds are no longer required. There's only one ground, and this ground is that the marriage has irretrievably broken down, meaning that there is little or no chance that this marriage can be retrieved, can't be healed, can't be repaired, and is very unlikely that they are both partners going to get back together again. This is what the courts look for in seeking whether or not to make an order for a divorce. These are always difficult times, as previously the law allows you time, thinking time, cooling off time in between the first decree and the second decree, which is quite right. We as humans do tend to do things on the spur of the moment, and later on regret things. So quite rightly, there is a cooling off period, and after this cooling off period you are granted the final decree of the divorce. Now, divorce is never an easy time for anyone. Often there are children involved, there have been many sacrifices made from both sides. So we urge that everything is done, if possible, and it's not always possible, in the calmest possible manner, and that you communicate with each other in the best manner possible. Now, I understand this isn't always possible or even appropriate, but it would help things go along much more smoothly and potentially reduce the amount of money you need to spend, so avoiding further unnecessary litigation. We at Aylesbury Lawyers understand that this is a very turbulent time for all those involved. We try to make your process as smooth as possible and give you realistic expectations of what's likely to happen and what's likely to pose any difficulties. I hope I've answered some of your questions, if not all. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and look out for our videos coming soon.